I think we're close to fixing this 1019. We've got one last kink to figure out on this. And so I spent a lot of time, you know, not a lot of time, but like a couple of different Google searches trying to figure out what the problem is. And I came across this one thread and they were having the exact same problem. And the exact same problem is what was going on with this 1019. And they did the exact same thing when they relubricated their tone arm or their turntable. And so let's give you a quick little recap. What's supposed to happen is this tone arm gets to the inner ring. It's supposed to just lift up and then the auto return sets it over to the tone arm and then it turns off, right? That's regardless whether you start it manually or automatic. But what's happening is when it hits that inner ring, it gets pushed back a little bit and then it lifts up and goes over. And we don't want that vertical force on that needle. So what I did, and what the other person on the internet that had a similar situation or had this exact same thing, is when they had this all apart, they put lubrication, they put some on that brass bit between that brass pit and that silver piece, and so the solution was their solution. They took this apart, removed that lubricant, made sure it is dry as the Sahara Desert, put it back, and then it was done. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this apart to remove that grease that we put on there. So we got to take these two bolts off, and then underneath here, we just need to remove this piece right here, and then that should get us enough leeway. Remove this guy right here, so that way we can slide that off, and then we can slide this gear out of. Um, hold on, let me think about this. We don't want to take this part off because we got to undo that, and that is a rascal. That's a rascal to get back in. Okay, so oop, one firm grasp of the deck, please. Thank you. So we're gonna take this off. We're gonna take that bolt off. This entire housing right here is connected by those two bolts on top. And you know what? I think we'll take this guy off too, so that way we can remove the post, that supporting post, and just that way that gear slides easier, and we don't have to try and manhandle it or try and uh, finagle it around the muting switch or this piece right here.
All right, so we got the pieces taken apart. I've thrown some alcohol on this supporting post as well. So we're gonna let this dry off like really good for the next like 5-10 minutes. Shouldn't even take that long with like 91%. Should be dry already, but we may hit it a couple more times with some alcohol. Throw it back on there. Throw a little bit of the silicone 3-in-1 on the post, but not on the actual pieces right here. And then put that little bastard right there back on this thing without breaking any of this 70-year-old or 67-year-old teeth on this plastic gear. Because if you break these teeth, oh god, it becomes goes from a working turntable to a donor turntable. But yeah, all right, we got it back together. We got that little retaining gripper ring on there. I did back that little retaining clip off. It was cinched down pretty. When I got that back on there, I put it down like way too tight to where this wasn't moving at all, at least not by itself. So we've got the grease taken off. That's moving pretty freely. So I don't think we should have the that jump. But now the only way to find out is to put it all back together and figure it out. Okay, we got it put back together. So we're going to do a test run we got Chicago. We've got I need to move this guy off to the side. So we're just going to set it down as close to this inner ring as we can without tripping the auto return. Let's go. That's right. Nice and slow, baby. Nice and slow. Into that now. We'll move it just a little bit further in. And we just don't want it to. Previously it was jerking back before lifting, and so let's see here. And all I did was take that lubricant off in between those two pieces and loosened up that retaining clip. So I did two things. But as long as this doesn't jerk back, we're going to be in good position with this 1019. Let's go. Anytime. No whammy. No whammy, no whammy. Big money. Are you gonna? There we go. Up. Oh. Sweet. Cool. And you set down and then you turn off. There we go.